Be this world, changing your mindset.
Welcome to Be This World. Today we will be taking a look at what is actually going on in Imo State. You know that in the next few days, election will be taking place in three states in Nigeria: Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo State. And our focus today is on Imo State. We want to see the issues and hope of Imo citizens as they go to poll on Saturday. Don't go back, stay away, and lots will be happening here now with Be This World. We'll be
Be
right
this
back.
world, changing your mindset.
This world, and my name is Bidin Nana. Today we want to look at what is actually going on in Imo State. And I will not be doing this alone today. I have a lot of people who will be joining me. I need Imo stakeholders to join me to discuss about what is actually going on in Imo State. One of the stakeholders, when I mean stakeholder, if you're an indigenous of Imo, you're practically a stakeholder in Imo State. We have one of them all the way from Toronto, Sir George Chukwu, to be joining us to discuss the issues and hope in Imo State as Imo people go to poll on Saturday, November 11th. Sir George, thanks for having you here today.
Well, thank you so much, Bidi. It's a pleasure being here to discuss this milestone that is about to take place again in Imo State. I'm happy to be here because the same course that has been on Imo State was in Abia State, and thankfully during the past election, Abia State seems like they have been that course has been they've been delivered from it with the new governor that is taking place. And now, on this Saturday, we are looking forward to another gubernatorial election in Imo State, especially like you said. I know there's another one in our two other states, Kogi and Bayelsa, but today we are discussing Imo. I'm from Imo State myself. I'm from the same area as the current governor. I'm from Akata, and the current governor is from Omuma, which is a stone throw from my village. So, and this is why we're here today to discuss the possibilities and what are the people's expectations and what are we going to be getting on Saturday. Now, when we talk about Imo State, we're talking about a lot of regions. We have like Osu, Okigwe, Nkwere, Uguta, Njaba, Mbaitolu, Ehimembano, Ahia Zumbise, Abombise, Ngwapala, Owerri West, and so on. So these are the people that we are calling on today. They should come out this weekend and support their candidate and eradicate the cost that has been on that state for almost how many years now since they've been electing what they consider to be people kakistocracy, people that are not unable to help us out, but they come to govern us. So we're hoping to have hope for Imo State, but we're not talking about hope, so it doesn't matter.
It's okay. That's a very nice one. And one of the people who's supposed to join us on this interview today is Hope for Hope 2023. But I find that he's actually having problem with his network. I hope he joins us before we end this interview today. Now, you talked about the people who, like I said, yes, bringing you to this show is because I know you're a stakeholder. And like Sir George has listed out, if you're from any of those zones he has mentioned, you're practically a stakeholder in this Imo State and this Imo State election coming on 11th of November 2023. So you shouldn't just sit and fold your hands. If you're not able to get there, you should be able to contribute and see how we'll get things done rightly. Now, Sir George, before we get down to Imo State, election in Nigeria has always been fraudulent. There's been rigging, starting from when I know from PDP government. But the thing is this, in this APC government, the thing has totally taken a different turn. The rigging aspect of it, everything is on the high. It's like a do or die affair now. Now, what is happening now in Nigeria is this. If you look at the states, the PDP states and the APC states, the tension is different. Now, this Saturday coming election, if you look at what is happening in Kogi and what is happening in Imo State, it's like a pattern. You can't compare it to what is happening in Bayelsa. Bayelsa State looks to be a little more low or civil, but that of Kogi and Imo State is like a do or die affair. Why do you think election in Nigeria is like this today?
Well, to be very frank with you, I don't think it's only in Nigeria. If you don't go to other African countries, you also will experience the same level of intensity when it comes to the election. Now, part of the reason why this is so in most what I call third world countries is simply because, it's almost that the winner takes all. There is no opposition party. You are God to yourself and God to your own people. So that is the reason why we see such do or die. And then also godfatherism is another thing. When somebody puts you in there, they become stakeholders in your own appointment for election. Therefore, you go right ahead and then you have to appease your godfathers before you even you start taking care of the state. But one main thing is this. It's not that election have become a little more intense in Nigeria or in some of these states. It's because of the times of where we are today, because technology in the past, you might not be able to log in or plug in, during the electoral time in order for you to know, watch what is going on. But right now, everybody have their own at their hands, and they can actually take a video, take a picture, and show evidence of fraudulent activities. But in the past, it was not so. It was as bad as it was then, as about, it's just as bad today. Only that today, due to the emergence of technology, and cell phones, we're able to view a lot of things. That's the reason why during the presidential election, if you notice, the senatorial election or the House of Representatives, they did not unplug the system, the uploading of the system. And when it came to the
Yeah,
presidential election, the only thing they could do to manipulate that election was to, shut it off. And that's what they
exactly.
did with all impetus. So today the argument has been, oh, was the election fair and just? No, it was not. It was written. Listen to me. Election has always been written, the presidential election has always been written in Nigeria, whether we like it or not. You can go and suffer and do what you gotta do, but they write it. And that's what Tinubu was crying out for, and it happened. And now we are looking at Imo State, Hope Uzodinma. Hope Uzodinma, if you remember many months ago, that's the state where they discovered what happened in that state, where they have people with Chinese name and people from Turks and Caicos and people from Dominican Republic. All of a sudden they're from Imo State, and you're
Exactly.
wondering what is going on. So this thing, it was exposed, and I don't think that Hope has been happy because of that. But what we are praying for, let the best man in this election win. All eyes will go out there and every region of Imo State to observe the election. Any patakpata attempt or attempted attempt to rig that election, we will be live. Bring it on so that we will showcase to the world the corruption that is in that place. Look at the former governor, 8 years, the one before 8 years. These are criminals, and they are all from my area, and they have not done anything in that state. One of them, all he was doing was building roundabouts. And today, that's how he did in
And
Imo State,
and
roundabout.
status.
And putting statues all over the place. And then you conduct governance. And the kids, the children, how many universities do you have in a war zone? When they graduate, what jobs do they have? To go and serve in the hotel? The hotels are now not even having any residents in there because of insecurity in Imo State. How deplorable can our mindsets be? And we still have the impetus to come and be promising people, heaven and earth when you have not even delivered hell to them.
It's okay. Sir George, now, in Imo State governorship election to come on Saturday, 11th of November, we'll have a lot of gubernatorial candidates, but we'll have three people to watch. Labour, PDP, and APC. Those are the three men to watch for election that is coming up in 3 days' time. But there's issue now. You notice that, or have you heard that the sitting governor, that's Hope Uzodinma government, has said that for any party, any political party to erect a billboard or a poster, you have to pay 55 million naira permission to erect a billboard. And which I know some of them have been able to pay that. And still, there's an agency that sets on the street to remove all those billboards from the streets of Owerri, more especially. Now, does it mean that some people are more Owerri or more indigenous than others? What do you make of this?
This is the impetus that we are talking about. There was a conversation on Arise News yesterday with Dati Ahmed, the vice presidential candidate of Labour Party, and he was saying until the people get tired and want to take back their government, that's when there will be a change in Nigeria. If we want to remain docile, if we want to remain like a non-entities in our own state, and then we're inside the water and soap is entering our eyes, well, that's we. If that's what we decide to do, to allow one individual to come and hijack the government. Now listen to me. You know, Imo State is a place where you always petitions are being written all the time. But when you look at that, you're talking about Japa from Nigeria. Most students that graduate from Imo State, they Japa to other states. They take their brains and their education and go to other states to look for jobs, simply because of the deplorable state in which we have found our state in. This installed Justice Department installed governor. If he does not allow the election to be fair and just, shame on the people. Shame on the people. The reason why we were able to find out what is happening in the presidential election is simply because everyone's eyes were open. We were watching. People were sending information. So that's what I'm expecting. If you are a student, if you are old from 18 years old and above, and you have a cell phone, take yourself to the election places, take videos and upload it. Let's find out what's going on. We are tired of allowing that state to remain in such a deplorable state by having a catastrophic individual to go over there and sit and do nothing. Take all the money that is being brought and doing absolutely nothing. Look at how many people have been killed in Imo State because of insecurity. And he's sitting there, all of a sudden, he doesn't even know what to do anymore. He's talking about bringing jobs, 4,000 people to Japa, to other places, or whatever. How many thousands did he promise? You're going to buy them plane tickets. Who are you talking to? Dunces? Ignorant, deaf, and dumb people? You haven't done anything in the number of years you've been in the office, and you're promising to send people out. What kind of promise is that? Because you think people are namas in Imo State, or you think they are goats and they didn't go to school. And then all of a sudden you want to make it so difficult for other candidates, to publicize themselves. That is such a it stinks in my ears. All I'm saying is let the Imolites rise from diaspora and all over, all eyes on the polling units. Let's find out how they're going to be able to hijack this one. Is Yakub, who is the head of the INEC. Maybe they've already taken him again to France, where they're going to transfer the money to his children so that they can hijack this election too. It's just so crazy. What state Nigeria has become? And look at Imo State.
Sir George, I like the point you brought out there. Now, another thing you should know is that there's a lot of threats on the people of Imo State. Before I was able to get you to talk to me on Baby's Watch Show, I've reached out to so many people who are afraid to speak on Imo situation. Now, you're talking about about that people should come out, use their phone, update the happenings in Imo State. People are afraid because there's a lot of threats from the sitting government to people. So people are afraid to speak up about what is happening in
You
Imo
don't have
State.
to speak up.
Now,
You don't have to speak
now,
up. You have to go. You have the constitutional right to go to the polling units. You have the constitutional right to use your telephone to take videos and pictures. Nobody can stop you from doing that. If everybody comes out, then who is going to fight against you? If
now,
everybody comes out, that's the problem. People are dying daily, and yet they are afraid to die. Get out there.
exactly.
Take your mandate, Imolites. Enough is enough.
Now, Sir
Go
George,
out there and take your mandate back. Come out in groups. Leave your houses. Go to the polling units. Line up. Take pictures. Take videos. You have the technological ability with your telephone to stop the nonsense that is going on in that state. That's what we're saying. Don't be afraid anymore. You are afraid you will allow them to continue. Get out of your house and go to the polling units. How many people would they kill? They want to threaten you to stay home. So if you don't come out and vote, then they can write the election or send their own people from other states, which is what I hear they're trying to do, to come and, fill the units in your own area. No, you know your own people. When you go to the polling units and you see somebody who does not belong from Imo State, call them out, take pictures, expose this corruption that is going on in that place. How many
now,
years are we going to be dumb and deaf in that nation, in that little Imo State?
yeah, I like the points you just make. It's so unfortunately because when you come to Nigeria, Imo is one of the best read states. Apart from Ekiti, what Ekiti have is more professors, but in Nigeria, Imo is where you have much people who are read. But unfortunately, those red people, those informed men and women are being treated like fools. And like you said, and they allow it because they are afraid. What is the need of being afraid? If more people are dying on a daily basis and you're still afraid of dying. Like you mentioned all the zones in Imo State. Presently, people in Okigwe and part of Olu zone cannot even are not living in peace. So many of them they've deserted their town, their villages because of insecurity that is going on there. I was discussing with somebody 2 days ago. I said that Governor Oti of Abia State discovered more than 70 corpses and skeleton in a bush around Lord Manta. Now remember that Lord Manta and Imo State share a common boundary. Some of those corpses and skeleton they discover that is in Imo land. Do you understand? And the Hope Uzodinma, governor of Imo State, knew about this thing and nothing has been done about it. Now, Governor Oti has come out with that's discovering, and the outside the northern leaders from the Lord Banta are saying that he's lying. I don't know what is lying. The pictures, the videos, everything is there. Now, Sir George, my question now is this: part of the rigging, before you rig election, there's some will call post rigging. There's something like post rigging that is going on in Imo State now. Last week, Imo State government has taken over all the hotel in Imo State. Not only in Imo State, even in Kogi State, they did it in Kogi State. Yahaya Bello and Hope Uzodinma has taken over all the hotel, booked it by people's money. Even last week, Saturday, there are a group of students, a group of old school that booked a hotel for 3 days. They want to celebrate their old school alma mater. And when they came in Imo State, they told them there is no space. And this is something they've paid for. Like a month ago, they told them there is no space, that the state governments have taken it. Now, why do you think such thing is happening in Imo State, if not for preparation to rig this election?
Well, I can't speculate on the reason why it is happening. Maybe they're inviting Imolites to come back and vote for them, or maybe they're inviting other people and house them in these hotels. But what I am saying to the Imolites, if you see anything fishy, take a picture, take a video, send it in, we will expose them. We cannot allow enough is enough. Ojukwu was how old when he became the head of Biafra? Gowon was how old when he became the president of Nigeria, the head of state? How old were these people when they were young? Now you are 35, you are 40, you're still living in your father's house, in your mother's house. You haven't even gotten your own place because and you finish your education. And you're gonna sit down, go to the restaurant and drink, and laugh out your pain while everything is happening. That Imo state belongs to all the indigents. That Imo state belong every money that is being brought into that place from the by the government belongs to every single individual. It doesn't belong to the governor and all his goons in that place. Therefore, you need to rise up and stop being afraid. Take your mandate. You have what it takes to go back out there and force whatever corruption they're trying to do. They cannot kill everybody. You guys are there in Delhi. Look at the skeletons that they just found in this other place. If you come out in groups, they cannot stop you. Wake up, Imo State. This is your time to change the mandate, to change what is going on in that state. Have the right person to rule, not the person who is rigging himself in. He wronged himself in for the last time the election was it was whatever that happened. But I blame the former governor from Umbisi because he must have done something to allow these people to come in and then step out like a little chicken. You must have done something wrong too. If he did not rig that election and they found out that he did not pay one of the people, then Purpose of them will not have been brought from the fourth to the front. But APC is in government. That's why Hope found out something that took place and took advantage of it. Because the governor, the green cap governor of PDP, rigged the election. He rigged that election. When he rigged the election, he did not pay the right people to shut their mouth because the man is too stingy. And that's what happened. That's what he was exposed. So, to be honest with you, Hope Uzodinma is a sharp individual, if you ask me, because of what Emeka Ihedioha did. He's the one that laid the platform for Hope to come in because he messed up. And because his hands are so tight, he wasn't able to pay people to shut them up. And they exposed him. That's why he stepped down, because they got him by the neck. So this is what you're seeing. So Hope in that situation took advantage of that. And here we are today with him. All we are saying, let there be fair, free, and just election in Imo State. Let the best man win. We don't want this nonsense going on again in Nigeria because somebody comes and want to bring people from China, from Argentina with a Spanish name, and then you say they're from Omuma or from Uguta. Who answers such names? We don't answer such names. When you want to be a thief, please be a good thief. Don't be a stupid, foolish thief. When you're caught, everybody's laughing at you. Hope is my brother. Hope is my brother. But
are you for real?
The only problem is that he's not done anything in the past years. He became governor. If you want to be a good governor, we need security in Imo State, all through Imo State, on all the regions. We need agricultural products to be. We want economy. Nobody's taking advantage of Owerri. Owerri was like Las Vegas a few years ago. Now it's a deserted place. Yeah. You have more hotels and more schools in Owerri, but nobody's taking advantage of it simply because of kakistocratic type of stupid governance in that state. We need what happened in Abia to happen in Imo State.
In Imo State. It's okay.
Enough is enough.
Sir George, it's okay. Now, let's talk about the NLC president, Joe Ajaero. Apart from being the NLC president, Joe Ajaero is a son of the soil in Imo State. Joe Ajaero was beaten up in Imo State because
Joe Ajaero is from where?
He's an Imo guy. He's from Imo State.
The president of NLC?
Yes, he's from Imo State.
He's not a Yoruba guy?
No, he's not. He's not. He's from Imo State. Now, he was beaten up because Imo NLC members were having issue with their payment, their salary, and the way they were treated. So they organized and plan a protest and invited him to be part of that protest. And in the process, because the government of Hope Uzodinma did not like his presence and he was beaten up. Now, my question is this. Even if they don't want to beat me up as an NLC president, wouldn't they have considered that he's the son of the soil? He's in his own town, his own village. But before you answer that question, let's go for a quick break. And when we return, we'll continue.
Be
Don't
this
go away, we'll
world,
be right back.
changing your mindset.
Us, this is Be This World, and my guest today is Sir George Chukwu, all the way from Toronto. He's here as a stakeholder in Imo State because he's actually from Imo State, and we're talking about Imo election issues and hope. Is there hope for Imo State people for the coming election, or is it one of those times that we'll go to pool and just waste time and come back and remain the same way or go backwards? Now, Sir George, before we went on break, I was asking you about the boy Joro beating him up in Imo State, and we're not talking about having a free and fair election. Now, the people of the NLC members in Imo State were having issue, they were crying, and they invited their father in the person of Jajero, and he came to speak on their behalf, and he was beaten up. Now, it appears that even the NLC member in Owerri, no hope for them if their father can be beaten in their presence. What do you make of this?
Well, I'm not quite sure. There's been a lot of news about what happened with the guy. You see, when Nnamdi Kanu came to Nigeria originally, the reason why he was arrested, he has a British passport, and when he came to Nigeria, he came with Nigerian passport. Therefore, gave the impetus to the government to arrest him and lock him up originally. If he had come into Nigeria with a British passport, Britain would have fought for his release right away. The reason why Nnamdi Kanu is still alive today is simply because of that blue passport. Because there's still, he's still a citizen of Britain. In the same manner, they have the impetus to abuse this guy because he's from Imo State. He's from Emekepu, Owerri, North. And that's the reason why they could be able to do all the mess that they did. And then with all the news coming out, whether it's true or not, we don't know. It's all allegations that he was beaten up by the people or beaten up by the police, or police said they were trying to protect him so that they will not kill him, or whatever the case might be. As strong as that guy is nationally, but locally, they have just abused the man. So that's one of the major problems that I'm having with our people, because if when these things are happening and you have people taking pictures and videos that are clear enough, who could have known who started the beating, who was rescuing who, or whatever the case might be. But today it's all allegations, and then we cannot even tell. But anyway,
It's okay. Sir George, and because we don't have much time, I want you in one seconds. Can you tell us what do you think of LP gubernatorial candidates come Saturday, 11th November? What do you think is his hope?
well, you know what? I know for sure. Imolites are very intelligent people. Imolites are not fools. They've been there for the past how many years? Is this 16 solid years? Of all bad governance taking place. They have seen that nothing is happening in that state. There is no technological improvement. All we have are schools, students going to school, they come out, nothing. So when you really take a look at some other states and compare it to us, we are one of the poorest when you really think about it. Imo State is one of the poorest states, and yes, we are the most educated. And then, so we know for sure that if anybody is telling you that they're going to go back again based on what has happened in the past few years under this governor, I think they're going to vote him again, that's a lie. That is not true. I'm not saying that he's not going to get any votes, because there are so many people that are under his payroll. But For anybody to come and tell me that they will vote Hope Uzodinma back into the government again, in this election cycle, that is a lie. We know whose eyes, every eyes is on somebody that they believe that can take the mandate of Imo State and then bring that state to a place where it will be recognized. And that's the Labour Party candidate. Everybody's looking at him. So now, but the only problem we have is if the election is halfway fair and just, Hope Uzodinma is not going to win.
What
Halfway
about
only.
what about the PDP candidates? Sam Dede.
He's okay, but from what you are looking at today, when it comes down to to the southeast, most of them already know that PDP, APC, they are the same people. All of them are the same. They have nothing else to offer. They are dead on arrival. The only hope that is in that state is the same hope that was in Abia State. If they can duplicate what happened in Abia State, Imo State in the next 4 years will be a zone that you can visit. Everybody can come home and rest. And this is what I'm crying out. From the diasporans and from within Imo State and from all states around and African countries, if you are an Imolite, please let your people go out in groups, go out in masses. Go out there, get your phones ready. They cannot kill everybody. You people are dying daily. Enough is enough. There comes a time when you have to be angry and stay angry until a change takes place. This is your time. It's not time to sit at home or go to the bar and be drinking and allow these people and make it easy for them. You cannot do that anymore. Generations are perishing.
It's okay.
Generations are
Sam
dying.
Judge.
People, get up, wake up, go out there on Saturday. Refuse corruption in Imo State. You
I
must
like
do
that.
it. If you don't do it, don't come out and blame anybody else. Imo State belongs to you. It doesn't belong to Hope Uzodinma. It doesn't belong to a handful of people that are governing that place. If you want a change in the government, be the first change that will take place in Imo State by getting all your friends, young men, young women, come out in groups, go to the polling stations, get your phones ready. They cannot kill everybody. And vote that man out if you don't want him. That's what Imo State so ought to be. Let the change that we need in the whole Nigeria start in Imo State. You people are strong. You are vibrant. You are educated. Say no to corruption. Say no to continued suffering in Imo State. Stop suffering and smiling and then come tomorrow blaming people. You have the right now to get out there, get your masses out, go out there, go and vote. They cannot kill you all. When you start seeing anything that is happening, go ahead and take pictures and take videos. There isn't enough of them. If you all come out, you can overcrowd them and they will run. I guarantee you that. That's what you need to do on Saturday.
Thank you so much, Sir George, for this encouragement to every Imolite everywhere. Are you in diaspora? Are you in Nigeria? Sir George has said it. Call your people, come out in mass and protect your votes. Protect whatever thing you deem necessary to make this thing work. Let the change we seek in Nigeria begin in Imo State, and it's possible if the people come. Yes, you and I know that the sitting governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, will not allow this happen easy. It's not going to be easy in Imo State on Saturday. I know it, you know it. But then, with crowd, they said majority wins the vote. If all the Imolites that wanted a change come out, like Sir George had said, we can make a difference. Sir George, thank you so much for coming to be this World Show. I truly appreciate for your time, your contribution, and everything. And thank you, my viewers, for watching us. Come again on 11th of November. We'll be here giving you situation report of what is happening in Imo State. Thank you very much for joining us today.
And by the way, people, we will be live and we will spread out information where you can upload your videos and pictures so that we will be reporting it live from each polling station. So I want you guys, get your phones ready, get out there. We will be ready to work with you. When you send us information, all the pictures and the videos, we'll be uploading it live on the show. We want to make sure that their faces, all the faces of corruption will be exposed. If you people agree, stay angry until there is a change and refuse to be disenfranchised again. This is your time. If you don't do it, nobody else will do it. If it's easy, everybody will be doing it. It's not easy. That's why it is Imolites that will start it, because you are strong people.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sir George, for coming. Sir George has said it all. You remember, Imo State is one of the most educated states in Nigeria, but one of the poorest states. If this is not making you feel bad as an Imolite, if this is not hurting you as an Imolite, then go back to your bed and keep sleeping. But if you want a change, like Sir George had said, come out on Saturday, 11th of November, and make that change you want to see in Imo State. Let the brain of Imolite work for them. That's much will be taken today on Bidiswa Show. My name still remains Bidi Nana. I'm always your host. Keep in touch with us on this page because we'll be bringing you many things we'll talk about. That's here I will draw the curtain here today. Thank you for joining us. Bye.